Hello, welcome back. Have you ever faced a moment in life where the walls closed in around you, where every door was shut, and no matter how much you tried, nothing seemed to work? And in that moment, I whispered what I thought was an impossible prayer. A prayer that, deep down, I didn't believe could actually be answered. But that day, something happened. Something I will never forget. This is the story of the day God answered my impossible prayer. There are moments in life where strength isn't enough, where money, connections, and hard work cannot solve the problem, where you realize you are powerless. And it's in those moments that prayer becomes not just a choice, but a lifeline. I remember the day vividly. The weight of failure was on my shoulders. Dreams I had worked so hard for were slipping through my hands. And every time I tried to fix it on my own, I only fell deeper into despair. It was late at night. The world outside was quiet. And in the stillness of that silence, I broke. Tears ran down my face as I fell to my knees. I whispered a prayer I didn't even think God would hear. God, if you're really there, please. I can't do this anymore. I need you. It wasn't elegant. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't even strong. But it was real, and it was raw. And that is when everything changed. I didn't hear a voice from heaven. I didn't see the clouds part. But in that moment, something shifted. Peace, unexplainable, overwhelming peace, filled my heart. The same problems were still there, but something inside me had changed. The fear began to fade, and slowly, the doors I thought were shut began to open. I've learned something powerful since that day. God doesn't always answer prayers the way we expect. Sometimes He doesn't remove the storm. He gives us strength to walk through it. Sometimes He doesn't give us exactly what we ask for. He gives us something better. And sometimes, when the prayer feels impossible, that's when He shows us He is able. Let me tell you something important. We often think miracles are only about big, dramatic moments. The healing of a disease, the sudden financial breakthrough, the instant change of circumstances. But sometimes, the greatest miracle is the change within us. The courage to stand again after falling. The hope to dream again after disappointment. The faith to keep walking even when the road feels endless. Maybe today, you're carrying a burden too heavy for you. Maybe it's a broken relationship, a financial crisis, a diagnosis that feels crushing. Or maybe it's the silent battles no one else knows about. You've smiled in front of the world, but cried behind closed doors. You've encouraged others, but secretly wondered if you could keep going yourself. I know that feeling. I've been there, and I want you to know this. You are not forgotten. Your prayers are not wasted, and your story is not over. Think about people in history. Abraham prayed for a child, even when his body was old. Hannah prayed through tears for a son. Daniel prayed in the lion's den, and every time, God proved faithful. Their prayers seemed impossible, but with God, the impossible became possible. He takes broken pieces and makes them whole again. He takes closed doors and turns them into open paths. He takes weary hearts and fills them with hope. The day God answered my impossible prayer was the day I learned that miracles don't always come with fireworks. Sometimes, the miracle is simply peace in the middle of chaos, strength in the middle of weakness, and courage when fear is all around. Looking back now, I realize something. That prayer wasn't about me changing my situation. It was about God changing me. He lifted my eyes off the problem and fixed them on Him. And in doing so, He gave me clarity. He gave me direction. And He gave me hope. So today, if you're listening to this and you feel like giving up, don't. If you feel like the prayer you've been praying is impossible, don't stop praying. Because the God who answered me can answer you too. Think about it. Every great story in life begins with someone who refused to quit. And every miracle begins with a prayer. The truth is, faith isn't about having all the answers. Faith is about holding on, even when you don't understand. Faith is about trusting that God's plan is bigger than your pain. Maybe you've been praying for days, or months, or even years, and you're tired of waiting. I want you to remember something. Delay does not mean denial. God's timing is not our timing. Sometimes the waiting is shaping you. Sometimes the silence is building your strength. And sometimes the answer is already on the way. I want to leave you with this. When you feel like you've reached the end of your strength, that's when God's strength begins. When you've exhausted all your options, that's when God shows you His way. Nothing is impossible with Him. So don't give up, don't lose hope, and don't stop praying. Because one day, when you least expect it, you'll look back and realize that was the day God answered your impossible prayer. If this message touched your heart today, share it with someone who needs encouragement. And remember, your story isn't finished yet. Keep believing, keep praying, and keep walking by faith, because miracles still happen. Thanks for watching.